Read-Utsuro no Hako to Zero no Moriya, Volume 2, Chapter 1. You can click the link down in the description to follow along. I am surrounded by scenery that I can only remember in my dreams. I already know who the person facing me is, but without a box, I cannot deliberately recall this place except in my dreams. For that matter, I can't remember when this conversation occurred. Do you remember that I told you that I can see you as an individual even though your kind doesn't have any distinguishing features? I don't know. Feels like I have heard this before, but it also feels like I haven't. Thanks to what had happened this time around, I'm beginning to recognize why I can distinguish you from the others. It might be that, while rejecting nothing, you also don't accept anything. This all sounds like mere semantics to me. First off, the everyday life that you never tire of mentioning is different from the everyday life perceived by others. You include the loss of things in your perception of everyday life, am I right? This is, in fact, different from the common definition of everyday life. Other humans are unable to take things as they come. He says with a smile, all humans are distorted. All their everyday lives are twisted by their individual values. You could say that a box forces such distortion upon others. You are sensitive to these intentional distortions of everyday life by other boxes, and you find them repulsive. Am I wrong? I really haven't the slightest idea what he's talking about. Leave me alone already. This time around, your body was attacked directly, but even so, you managed to retain your self without being affected by the values of the owner. That is because you intuitively recognize the distortions of others, and when you know that something is distorted, you naturally won't accept it, would you? However, your ability to detect those distortions is orders of magnitude greater than that of an ordinary person, and because of that, you cannot accept anything. I can't help but frown, but he insistently continues. Your field of vision is terribly small compared to mine, but those abilities... Ah, I see. You might... resemble me. Please stop. You are disgusting. When I say that to him, he laughs and changes his ever malleable appearance to that of someone quite familiar, mirroring my very own presence. Zero says, may I interpret this as distance for the same thing? That's not it. We don't resemble each other at all. April 29th. Wednesday. The first day begins. April 29th, Wednesday. 23:57. The first day ends. April 30th, Thursday. Midnight. The second day begins. April 30th, Thursday, 12:37. Lunch break has started. My yawn just now might have been caused by that mysterious call I received at 6 o'clock this morning. I'll make you a box lunch today. The call was terminated, however, before I could even respond. What is she up to? It's the last day of April, and that means Golden Week. Our long vacation will soon begin. I'm currently waiting for Otanashi-san in the corridor like I do every day. We normally eat lunch together in the school cafeteria. She has never made me a boxed lunch before. Kazu-kun, did I hear Haru right? A homemade lunch I do with Maria is waiting for you? It's getting noisy. Kokone steps in front of me, followed by a grinning Haruaki. Haruaki, didn't I tell you to keep quiet about it to spare me all this trouble? You did, but I'm free to obey or not. What an awful friend. Kazu-kun, what's the deal with that exciting special event? Details, please. Well, don't ask me why, but I got a call this morning. A wake-up call? All lovey-dovey, aren't you? Please, just let me finish. A wake-up call? Someone murmurs behind me, causing me to spin around. Oh no. Another bothersome girl has arrived. Ah, Dikurin, sup? Kokone says. Good morning. The girl with that strange nickname is Riko Asami, a short freshman with a short haircut. She's a classmate of Otanashi-san's and a member of the Maria Otanashi fan club that has been flourishing ever since the school entrance ceremony. The two of them usually come here together, but it seems like Asami-san came ahead of time today. Maybe it's just me, but her expression and voice seem even gloomier than normal. Asami-san is absent-mindedly gazing at me. Or is she scowling at me?
You're getting a box lunch with Maria-san, I heard.
Yeah, I guess so. Asami-san doesn't say anything in response and keeps staring at me.
If only the batteries in your cell phone would explode. If only you were using batteries that were as obviously dubious as those cheap ones from overseas. Burst, batteries, burst.
Her mumbled curse gives me the creeps.
But why did she choose Kazu-kun of all people, right?
Kokona cuts in with a smile in an attempt to ease the rapidly spreading tension.
Because of that, Kazu-kun's been getting really scary looks from the guys, right? I heard he's topping the list of people I'd love to kill by faking an accident.
What's with that deranged list? Who on earth would come up with something like that? I did. Haruaki raises his hand. Of course I handed in a vote. I can't stand how you're all lovey-dovey with Maria-chan. I almost fall over in shock. I'm sure Haruaki is just joking, but lately, the looks I've been getting have certainly gotten scary, although I don't think Otanashi-san is the only reason this has been.
Why are you looking at me?
Kokone asked. It's nothing. I bet she has no idea that my being so friendly with her is probably a factor as well. Kokone just cocks her head. After the eternity we spent within that unchanging classroom, she's finally switched her hairdo to a ponytail bound on one side. A side ponytail, I suppose.
Say, I've been wondering, how did you tame Otanashi-san?
Now, tame is really not the right word.
Otanashi-san must be used to being hit on, so you didn't use any typical run-of-the-mill methods, right? Ah, I got it. You somehow made her believe that you were her special, fated love,
Kokone says triumphantly, and starts to make some wacky comments.
Let's see, you might have saved her from some pervert who attacked her. Oh, doesn't that sound plausible? The pervert was like, "Hey, sweetie, your navel fluff must smell terrific. Wah! No, it's not that a scab down there, but I don't care." And right when he was about to charge at her as he murmured those words, you swooped in to save her from his evil clutches, right?
I wouldn't have the guts to fight off a true pervert. Wait a second. We aren't even dating. That's just the plain truth. But Kokone's grin just gets broader.
So, how do you explain that incident at the opening ceremony?
I know only too well how everyone has misunderstood that declaration of war during our school's opening ceremony. I absolutely have to come up with an explanation and wipe that giant grin off Kokone's face. That's just... You see, because Otanashi-san happens to be a peculiar... I'm a peculiar person, you say? A familiar voice rings out behind me, and I reluctantly turn around. Maria Otanashi. Upon seeing her face, my body immediately grows stiff. Not because her accusatory words made me break out in a cold sweat, but simply because I was unprepared for the sight of her incredibly pretty face. I've yet to get used to her unyielding personality and stunning looks. I can't help getting flustered. I count up to 3 in my head, as I always do when I prepare to talk to her. I was together with Otanashi-san for the equivalent of an entire lifetime. I'm aware of that, but I don't feel like I spent all that time with her anymore. Why are you so stiff? Do you think I'm angry? I want to get angry because of that, would I? Right. While my bewilderment keeps me paralyzed, Asami-san wordlessly toddles towards Otanashi-san and positions herself behind her. What is it, Asami? Asami-san doesn't answer and just continues to stare at me. Haruaki opens his mouth instead. She's acting a little bit strange today. Maybe she's afraid of that Hoshi is stealing you from her, Maria-chan, because of that momentous box launched.
How dare you call her Maria-chan? You're obliged to append Asama.
Asami-san mumbles once more, almost without opening her mouth, while her eyes remain cast downwards. Anyways, let's go, Kazuki. To the cafeteria? Is it really so hard to guess my intentions after I informed you that I made you lunch? I want to avoid the school cafeteria, of course. Avoid the school cafeteria? We meet there every day during lunch to discuss issues involving the boxes. And oh, that being said, it's hard to get any new information, and we hardly ever discuss anything that must be kept secret from others. In fact, nothing like that's come up since Maria transferred here. Therefore, the school cafeteria has served us perfectly well, but she wants to avoid the cafeteria today. So that's why you made a box lunch? But couldn't you just have bought a sandwich? I mutter. Otanashi-san suddenly brings her head near my face and whispers into my ear. I got fed up with the cafeteria sandwiches during the rejecting classroom. if you know what I mean. It's perfectly understandable that she doesn't want anyone to hear the term rejecting classroom, but if she draws so near to my face right before Asami-san eyes, Asami-san might get the wrong idea, no? I sneak a peek at Asami-san, and as I expected, her gaze seems even more pointed.
Maria-san, may I join you?
Asami-san asked. Sorry, Asami, I want to be alone with Kazuki today.
Just the two of you?
Well, Kazuki, shall we get going? Otonashi-san grabs my arm and starts walking. Haruaki lets out an uncalled-for whistle. I wonder how Asami-san is taking this turn of events. I turn around anxiously and hear her muttering something while gazing towards her feet.
If only a female cockroach with a swollen abdomen would enter your mouth, lay her eggs inside your stomach, those eggs would hatch, and your guts would get mangled.
She's, really creeping me out. April 30th, Thursday, 12:43. Being here almost makes me feel nostalgic, I say once we're behind the school building. We spoke here quite a bit while trapped within the rejecting classroom. However, Otonashi-san doesn't seem inclined to indulge in reminiscence. After giving me a sharp glance, she quickly takes a box lunch wrapped in cloth out of her bag and hands it to me. Thanks. You're welcome. I untie the cloth and open the lid. The contents look rather bland, which is a bit unexpected. I start by popping one of the pieces of bacon-wrapped asparagus into my mouth. It tastes rather bland as well. I really like this bacon-wrapped asparagus. It's from the supermarket. Ah, I see. Yeah, it's no surprise that it tastes so bland. Next, I take a bite of the hamburger steak. As with the asparagus, it looks and tastes completely generic. I really like this ham. It's also from the supermarket. I knew it! I look over the rest of the boxed lunch. It seems like the potatoes, meatballs, dumplings, and vegetables were all store-bought. Don't make a fuss. There's no need to praise me so desperate. Otonashi-san, didn't you cook at all while we were trapped in the rejecting classroom? She previously told me that she practiced countless skills during those endless recurrences, such as martial arts. Oh ho! It looks like you're keen to criticize my cooking, doesn't it? No, that's not what I meant. Oh, please, don't even try to deny it. Well, I'm not actually offended. I did learn to cook, and I was talented enough to prepare some fairly refined dishes, but I just never really got into it. I can't take pleasure in honing my cooking skills. So that's why you skimped on my lunch? Now we're speaking plainly. Oops. I sneak a peek at Otonashi-san's expression. She doesn't look offended, I think. On a related note, does that mean that you don't care about the taste of food in general either? That's incorrect. It's a pleasure to eat something delicious. So what's your favorite food, if I may ask? Strawberry tarts. Basically, any confection that contains strawberry. Hey, why'd you freeze in the middle of chewing that meatball? No. Such a cute favorite dish. I could see you liking something like sweet potato paste, but I don't think strawberry suits you at all. That's what I was about to say out loud, but I somehow barely held back. That was a close one. Ho-ho, denying other people's favorite foods. You got some nerve, eh? You're putting words in my mouth. Sweet potato paste would suit you said. Why is it that I'm like an open book to you, Otonashi-san? So you like eating, but you don't like cooking. Oh. Why is it like I'm an open book to you, Otonashi-san? So you like eating, but you don't like cooking, I summarize, deflecting her attention from my missteps. It's not really enjoyable to cook for myself. The whole process feels like nothing but pointless labor. I see. Naturally, she had no one else to cook for her inside the rejecting classroom. I've hardly ever cooked myself, but I know that one of the pleasures of cooking is to watch others enjoy what you prepared for them, so if there's no one else to cook for, perhaps cooking would just become fruitless. But none of that matters now. It's not like I called you out here to just do some chit-chat. Yeah. Let's get down to business, Otonashi-san says, after which she searches through her bag and takes out her cell phone. I received an email yesterday, late at night. An email? I ask in response. Without a word, she holds out her cell phone. My deepest desire has been granted. Now we can both be together forever. Those were the words displayed on the screen. What's this? It reads like an excerpt from a sappy messages of a couple who just fell in love. Huh? In other words, Otonashi-san is going out with someone? The Otonashi-san I know? I look at her. She's smiling wryly at my reaction. Oh well, this is hardly unexpected after seeing you earlier today, Kazuki. Take a look at who sent that message. I do as told. The name in the from field reads, huh? Kazuki Hoshino. I'm the sender of this email? No. That's impossible. I don't remember writing any such message. But the proof is right before my eyes. At first I thought it was a scam of some kind, but my spam filter makes that pretty unlikely. It's safe to assume that this email was sent from your cell phone. But Otonashi-san, I don't remember sending this. How about checking your sent mail folder then? Unless someone emptied it, the email should still be in there. I nod and take out my cell phone. Much to my dismay, my deepest desire has been granted. Now we can be together forever. I see the same message in my sent folder. That's... I sputter as I turn pale. Relax, Kazuki. I can tell from the look on your face that you didn't send this message because you were feeling amorous. But if it really was sent by someone else, then he must have used your cell phone sometime after 2 in the morning to do so. The email is dated April 30th, so that means it was sent at 2:23 a.m. this morning. At that time, my cell phone was resting beside my pillow. I woke up because of Otonashi-san's call, so that's undoubtedly correct. Does that mean someone broke into my room late at night? Seriously? Why would someone go to such lengths? Kazuki, Otonashi-san says, while I'm lost in thought, do you know how I was able to slip into the box we call the rejecting classroom? I fail to see where she's going with this. It's related to what we're talking about right now. I told you that I was able to enter the rejecting classroom because I'm a box myself, but that doesn't really explain how I did it, does it? Now that you mention it, in addition to slipping into boxes, I'm able to detect and locate them as well. Yeah? How would someone send an email from your cell phone to mine sometime after 2 in the morning? Alternatively, how would someone make us believe that it happened? There must be multiple ways to do so, but I'm considering the following possibility. She continues. It's the power of the box. A box? Well, I don't know how you can so easily come to such a conclusion. I mean, why would someone resort to a box just for... Kazuki, weren't you listening to me? I'm able to detect boxes. But you're right. This email might be totally unrelated. But there's one thing that I can say for sure. Otonashi-san fixes her determined gazes on me. Someone is using a box nearby. It's her serious look, and not her words, that gets through me. I finally realize what's about to begin. It's happening again. Once again, a box is about to destroy my everyday life. Okay, Kazuki, let's get back to that email. Assuming that a box is involved, what might be the significance of that message? It's a bit too optimistic to think that the owner just wanted to play a prank on us after acquiring special powers, isn't it? What do you think? It's a declaration of war against us, or it might be a simple factual observation. Factual observation? What does she mean by that? Otonashi-san obviously hasn't started dating the owner. It might be some kind of metaphor, or the box was used to change the future this way, but we know one thing for sure. Otonashi-san breathes out lightly and continues where she left off. The owner is trying to interfere with us directly by using his box. Right, that's what it boils down to. Otherwise, there would be no reason for the owner to send such an email from my cell phone to Otonashi-san. What should I do? That a box was used is beyond a doubt. I need to find out how this box is used and grasp its essence, and I want you to help me do it. You're sensitive to slight changes to your everyday life, aren't you? You might notice some abnormalities that I want to pick up on. Okay, got it. I'll keep my eyes open. Great, I'll be sure to get in touch with you once I've learned something new. Since the discussion seems to have come to an end, I turn back to my lunch. However, Otonashi-san's chopsticks are frozen in place, so I also stop eating. Is there anything else, Otonashi-san? Yes, sort of, Otonashi-san says in a strangely vague manner. It's no big deal, really, but it's been bothering me and I don't like that. So, let me be frank. Okay, go ahead. What's with the way you've been addressing me? Huh? She posed an unexpected question. If there's no particular reason, Never mind, she says, and returns to her meal. Despite the urge to probe further, I decide to ignore it and continue eating as well. April 30th, Thursday, 22:38. Slight changes to my everyday life. I try to come up with some while sitting at my writing desk, which I have been using since primary school, but nothing comes to mind. Changes. We're surrounded by all kinds of changes. Unable to come up with anything, I open my cell phone on a whim. A picture of Mogi-san in pajamas is displayed on the screen. While she does look a bit skinnier than usual, she doesn't look pitiful at all. The photo was taken at the hospital, and there's a beaming smile on her face as she makes this peace sign.
Kazu-chan's grinning, looking at lewd pictures.
I quickly flip my cell phone shut when I hear my sister's voice. I'm not!
You got flustered, something's fishy here.
My sister Luka Hoshino is 3 years older than I am. She climbs onto the upper bunk of our bed with a broad grin on her face. As always, she's only wearing underwear. Jeez, Lu-chan. She never listens to me and keeps walking around in that outfit all the time, even though she's almost 20. Your brother's a teenager, Lu-chan, for crying out loud.
Let me guess, you were looking at a picture of Kazumi Mogi-san, weren't you?
What? How did she...
Bullseye.
Hold on. How do you know about Mogi-san anyway? Don't tell me you played around with my cell phone without my permission.
Course not. I only saw her name once when she called you, okay? That was a wild guess. But aren't you quite the ledge, having fun while looking at a picture of a girl?
This is exactly why I want my own room, to hide my bashfulness. I tightly grip my cell phone and dive into the lower bunk.
Hey, Kazu-chan, is that Kazumi Mogi-san your girlfriend?
No, she isn't.
So what's your relationship then? Or more importantly, how do you feel about her?
Our relationship? I wonder. How do I feel about her? Well, she did confess to me inside the rejecting classroom, and sending me this picture means that she feels something for me. Probably. Certainly don't find her feelings towards me disagreeable, but honestly speaking, I don't know if there's anything more than that. All the feelings I used to possess while inside the rejecting classroom are gone now. I have certain memories that imply that it's likely that I had similar feelings for Mogi-san, but because of those memories, I find it hard to think about her objectively. I have no idea how much I can trust my feelings anymore. Well, we're friends, that's for sure. My sister doesn't reply, even though I racked my brain to answer her question, but when I perk up my ears in bemusement, I hear her breathing in a calm and steady rhythm, speed with which she can fall asleep, never ceasing to amaze me. That's when I notice that I haven't yet replied to the email I was looking at, so I begin to type a reply. I look at the time displayed in the corner of the screen, 22:59. I'm in the midst of typing my response when my stream of consciousness suddenly goes blank. April 30th, 23:18. Well then, time to make a call.